or whether you're a student and you have very limited resources to do what you're passionate about. But through our virtualization and streaming solution, we can actually bring the performance of a much more expensive workstation to that person for a fraction of the cost. Unifying multiple platforms, obviously it's always a pain. You have Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, Linux. They all run different programs all the time. Nothing's consistent between them. All your files are wherever you left them last. So we hope to aggregate everything into the cloud on one operating system for you. Primarily, our customers choose Windows. And then by streaming that content to wherever you go, it's irrelevant of the device itself, Android, iOS. Whatever it is, it's always your Windows programs going with you everywhere. Enhancing creativity and portability and allowing for more freedom in life. So, just like I was saying before, your iPhone now, or your Android phone, or your tablet, your laptop is your $5,000 workstation. You know, doesn't matter where you are, just connect in, do your work. You don't need to be tied down to that 900-pound desktop that we're all used to having at the side of the table. So like I said, we have a software and hardware platform now that focuses on extremely highly efficient streaming software. So I say highly efficient rather than high performance, even though it is quite high performance, because it's all about retaining as much of the original's computer's performance as possible. You know, it would be kind of meaningless if we could do 144 frame per second stream, but it took all of the computer's resources to pull it off, right? So in most cases, our software uses less than 1% of the host computer's resources to actually bring you that experience. Low latency, accomplishing the stream as quickly as we can to make it feel like it's right there with you. High frame rates, visually lossless quality, something else that we're proud to be introducing here. So what you see there is native to what would be on the monitor on the remote PC itself. Low bandwidth requirements. The demos that you're seeing here are peaking at about 10 megabits of utilization. In the average deployment, there are 2 to 4 megabits. That's enough to do over a 3G internet connection, or 4G, or the hotel's not very good Wi-Fi. So it's all workable. And if you're in a really bad spot and you have 900K, we can slow you down to 30 frames per second, or just bring that performance envelope down a little bit, and you can still have the experience that you need. Security and encryption, of course, for enterprise uses or medical use. Built to lossless, so once again, if you're in a bad area, you can and you have a degraded quality. We make sure we always get the image back to perfect, no matter what the situation is, and extremely low idle time. 1080p, 4K, 144 frames per second, full color qualities. Our servers are available today on Windows, coming later this year. Servers available for Linux and Mac OS. Some use cases. I won't read all these, but anything that you need a high intensity computer for, we basically can provide a solution. So let's move on. So about a month ago, we did our consumer product launch. And we basically did one preview video with a popular tech YouTuber, Jay's 2 Cents. He does product reviews for graphics cards and processors on YouTube, and pretty popular. He's one of the smaller channels out there, though. We thought this would be a great way of sort of sampling our users and seeing, if people really want this product right track. Go ahead. And actually, we saw a lot of great reception. We got a lot more feedback than we thought we were going to off of one YouTube video. Whenever I got this screen grab a few days ago, I had about 75,000 views on it. Only 3-week-old video. And in the first week of this video going up, we got over 1,200 monthly subscribers to the service. Really, really, really quickly. And like I said, people are just really enthusiastic. It's really surprised us. So, like I said, extremely excited. The global interest is also good. This is a little heat map of where people are wanting to sign up for the service, where they're actually physically located. And because of our micro data center model, which I can explain more one-on-one to anybody curious, we can actually facilitate the deployment to these customers largely wherever they're located without costing the computing too much money for having global reach. But a lot of activity. primarily U.S. since the viewer base of that YouTube content was primarily U.S. But really surprised at how much global reach this actually had. That's good. So just some little tweets that have been coming in for us. Of course, I think they're incredibly amusing, so I just threw them before. And I think people really get it too. This service is going to save me so much money, right? I'm tired of spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to upgrade my computer, right? We've all been there. Every year it gets slower, right? And since we're data center hosting hardware, we alleviate that concern for people. We just allocate the correct hardware to their needs. This was one of my favorite ones we got. we did take his money, so that was good. Let's move on here. And then of course, another one. But this seems like an awesome idea, even though I can't comprehend how it's profitable. And we actually get that one quite a lot, because the technology as a platform, it has a lot of features to offer. And the price point seems impossible based on what you get for it. Right now we're offering for $30 a month, you get this $1,000 graphics card, $500 processor, and people worked out, if I pay for this for 3 years, I haven't even paid for one component in this machine. How are they doing this? Plus providing internet and bandwidth and all the support. How is that possible? So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we actually pull this off. So customized hardware is our first step. Like I was saying, this year we're introducing servers manufactured specifically for leaf computing. AMD has been great. Custom graphic solutions from them to make sure everything is perfect as far as performance is concerned, new features for the drivers. Any specific revisions we need made is normally handled extremely quickly, and they've been an excellent partner to us, as well as Keynote this year, which is the world's largest motherboard manufacturer. They're the ones that are stamping out all of our servers for us from our designs, and they have incredible global reach. So basically anywhere on that map that you can think of, they have a building there to fix motherboards, getting it all. So they're a great resource and a great partner to have on board, and they're really making it possible to bring the cost of putting this together much less for our consumer deployment. Go ahead. And then we'll talk about advanced server resource utilization. So this is actually how we are able to provide such a competitive price, right? And the simple fact is, everybody here has a computer. Nobody's using it 24/7, right? Mostly it is just sitting there on the plug wasting power, right? You use it, maybe if you add up all the actual dedicated time that you're moving around the mouse and actually doing something, it's just a couple hours a day, tops, for some of the extreme guys, maybe 8 hours solid a day. That's still 3 times worth of the whole day left over that the machine is sitting idle. So we do advanced virtualization and essentially time sharing on these components to make sure that multiple people can take advantage of the same physical hardware. We get as much efficiency as we can out of each individual component. So offering the ability to swap hardware needs back and forth to users in less than 1 second increments. So let's say you're using the computer, you're not doing anything, you're connected to one of our sessions, idle, maybe you have a Chrome tab open and you leave the mouse sitting. We can actually pull the resources from you in 1 second and give them to someone else to use if they're doing video editing. And then once you move that mouse again, we put you on another resource somewhere else. So in really fast, really short time frames, we just move around all of the users and all of what they're doing to make sure that we get as much out of that hardware as possible. We do live migrations too, and that of course is on a geographically redundant network with our micro data centers, creating essentially range extension too. Basically, there's a latency time between you and connecting to the data center. Let's say we're here physically right now, connecting to Austin's data center. If you drive to California, we can live migrate you while you're connected to a California data center to make your connection better. And we can do this in that same 1 second transfer that we do of all the other resources. So we're always keeping you connected to the best possible situations for you to get your resources. Or if there's an extremely unfortunate, let's say an earthquake, and it takes out a California data center, we can live move all those guys to the next closest data center, and they just keep working. And they never know that it ever shut off. So let's keep going. So these are our existing product lines for the consumers. We have enterprise product lines as well. Right now, pre-ordering for $30 a month for each of these. You get a 6-core processor, enthusiast grade, an NVIDIA Titan X, or a Radeon graphics card, So we got some demos running here today. Just I'll quickly go over what those are. This is the end of the slides. We made it. Yeah, to the left here we have our server rack with some of our hardware set up.
Oh yeah.
Things go well.
I hopefully we will see. Yeah.